joined with my first guest at this time, two members of a new wave punk band out of Louisville, Kentucky. This past July, they released their latest record entitled Neon. I'm joined with, at the moment, two members of Hot Prowlers right here, right now. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing real good. Thank you both for joining me on the show this evening. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us on.
All right, so let's do a roll call real quick. Why don't you state your names and what role do y'all play in the band?
I'm
All right,
Foxy
I'm Drew.
Go, and I sing and play synth.
And I'm Drew. I play guitar and sing backup vocals.
All right, that's awesome. And let's talk about this record, Neon, which y'all released this past July. What was it like working on this project?
It was a lot of fun, actually. We worked with the same producer and engineer that we worked with on our first record. We had such a good time working with that team on that record that we were like, we got to do it again. So we upgraded some of the studio equipment and whatnot that we were working on, and really came a lot closer to the clean, synthy new wave sound that we really are trying to go for.
That's cool. And I've listened to a couple of songs. As a matter of fact, I listened to the songs that was sent to me, and I'm definitely become a fan of this band. And it's become one of the few bands of Louisville that I'm definitely starting to become a fan of. I live in Lexington, and I support
Okay.
and I support local music as much as I can, especially on the weekends. So as far as this album, what made y'all decide to name it Neon?
Well, I think Neon really draws in on our influences. Like, we're really influenced by the '80s and neon. The first thing you think of when you think of the '80s is neon. So we wanted to put that in people's minds when they get ready to listen to our record because we really focus on the '80s.
Gotta love the 1980s. Definitely, rock was definitely at its peak at that time. And there was a certain channel that made its debut. I don't know what they called themselves, MTV. Like I don't know who had an award show like last week, and supposedly that's the only time of the year that they actually play music or whatever. But that's here nor there. But
It's definitely the '80s. The '80s were an interesting time. I mean, you had sort of punk coming into its heyday. You had hip hop coming to its heyday. Then you had the shift to really a lot of more digital synthesizer type sounds. You know, they were going to people were moving away from recording recording to tape and starting to use more computers and digital studios and those types of things. And our music is definitely influenced by those sounds, and it's just like Foxy said, the title Neon just really kind of encapsulates all of that, and it's also sort of the aesthetic of the band that we're going for. It's very 80s fashion, high fashion chic type look, and Neon just has a nice slick name to it that we think represents that exactly what we're going for.
I got a chance to listen to a lot of local artists, especially local bands in particular. There's a lot of bands in Lexington that I get a chance to listen to, and they all bring something different. I haven't been able to go to a show in Louisville, and I hope to do so one day. I would love to see y'all perform, whether I had to go see y'all or maybe y'all had to come to Lexington. I guess that's up to
we are trying to focus actually now on we actually just bought a van, our first band van. So we are going to be doing some traveling. So we will hopefully be in Lexington very soon. We've played there a few times and always have a good time. I actually have tons of friends in bands there in Lexington. So we're trying to always link up with those folks and play shows. But yeah, Lexington's great. Louisville, we actually just played, I don't know if you're familiar with the PRF Barbecue. It's sort of loosely based on the punk rock forum, Steve Albini electric audio type thing from the Chicago scene. And our friend Elliot Turton has brought the festival to Louisville. We played there yesterday. And it's mostly like a very heavy fest, lots of metal, really heavy rock. If you know the band Shellac or Melvin, it's very much along those lines. And so we kind of stood out a little bit as a new wave band, but we have found that even as playing the new wave that we do, we kind of mesh well with a lot of the punk scene and the metal scene around here. People really respond to what we do, so it's actually been kind of fun. We like to think of ourselves a little bit as the modern day Blondie. They kind of stood out with the music that they played, but it's still, for whatever reason, everybody in those scenes accepted it, and we are finding ourselves in a similar situation with what we do.
It's definitely shocking too, especially yesterday since we played during the day, and we're very like the word neon. We shine the brightest at night, so it was super awkward to play during the day at PRF, and people I think were a little bit shocked to listen to our sound with all the other like doom and metal type bands. So I think we took everybody a little bit off guard, but they seemed to dig it, so that's good.
It's also a great sign considering what y'all bring to the Louisville scene, and y'all bring something different, and regardless of the fan base and what type of music they hear, as you two pointed out, y'all fit very well with the music that is out there in Louisville, and the love and support y'all been getting. And how would you best describe the local rock scene in Louisville, considering that this band has performed in some areas in Louisville? Like, how would you best describe the support that you get from not just from fans, but from the fellow rock bands that's out there in Louisville?
Well, we really hang out with a lot of the punk rock kids, and they love us. Like, I can't even really say the names of the bands because they're like not radio friendly, but our friends ETBP are playing PRF tonight, and we always play shows with them, and they're super rowdy punk band. And well, they really like us, and they've kind of like, see, everybody wants to like mosh because everybody likes punk rock in Louisville, and they like getting rowdy at shows. So when we start playing our music, they kind of don't know what to do with their bodies. So they kind of look to us, and they've kind of learned to you can dance rowdy too. You don't just need to like run into each other. You can kind of sway. So they've kind of learned like how to take us, and they're super supportive about it.
And we, back in July, right after we released the record, actually, the record came on July 8th. On July 10th, we played a local festival here with a lot of different bands, all across every genre of music, really. And there were a lot of members of some really, really heavy bands here in Louisville, metal bands, doom bands, punk bands, coming up to the owner of our record label and just saying, like, this is my new favorite band in Louisville. We get a lot of people who are in, what you would call extremely heavy music, talking about how this is, they're one of their favorite records of the year, and that we're one of their favorite local bands, which is a trip to hear from these people who are, so big in the scene here and play music that's so different from what we do. But I think one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is when you hear a Hot Prowler song, it's a Hot Prowler song. There's no confusing what we do with anybody else, which is really kind of, at least locally anyway, really what we're trying to go for.
I think that's a testament, too, to our generation, because our generation's really nostalgic, and the sound that we're going for really takes people back to, like, their childhood and what their parents were listening to and stuff like that. And I think it just calls up cool memories about first learning about music and stuff like that. I think that's why our sound is so attractive to people.
One thing I noticed is on the Facebook fan page is that I have 4 mutual friends who are have liked the page, and let's see, I have members of the Slams, a band out
Oh,
of
yeah.
Frankfurt. Former Frankfurt neighbors, I like to call them because I used to live in the same city they did. And that band, those initials, which is going to refer to them as the Bangs.
Yeah.
I'm good friends with both bands. Like they are so awesome and what they have bring for the slams. They're kind of like this Irish type of band, and then the Bangs is just whew, very
Yeah, they're our good friends, and we always love to hang out with them and play shows with them anytime we can.
Oh yes, so shout out to those 2 bands for sure.
Definitely.
Now, as y'all get the word out on this Neon record, do you guys and girl have any upcoming shows, upcoming performances that you would like to promote?
Well, we just played last night, like I said, and then I think our next show is on the 17th of this month here in Louisville. It's at Kaiju. It's with some friends of ours from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and we're really excited about that. It's at Kaiju at 9 o'clock. I think it's $5 cover, typical Louisville show. 4 bands for $5, so I mean you can't really beat that. We're really excited. We have just kind of come off a stint where we were playing lots of shows, and September and October are kind of light right now, but we're hoping to do some traveling in the next couple of months. So hopefully we'll get up to Lexington and let you know when we're heading that way for sure.
So for those who want to check out the EP Entire Neon, you can check it out on Spotify. You can check it out on iTunes and also on Bandcamp as well.
Yep.
So those 3, and also their website is at www.hotprowlers.com. That is HOTPRWLERS.
That's correct.
And they have all the social media links, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all posted on there, and upcoming shows and everything else they got going on. So, now, like, I will ask this from a fan's perspective. When you go to a show and you listen to bands or just artists in particular, what is the one thing that you look for that makes you want to become a fan of artists? Is it the music? Is it the melody? Is it the energy? Like, what's the one thing you look for as a fan when you go to these shows and see artists perform?
It's for me, it's performance. It's can you look at somebody playing their music and believe that they mean the words that they say, that they actually enjoy making the music that they are making. If that's the case, it doesn't really matter the genre to me. If that's the case, I'm into it. If it's a singer-songwriter with just him and his guitar or her and her guitar on the stage, or a full, hip-hop band with horns and all kinds of stuff, to a metal band or whatever, if they believe in what they're doing and they're living it, I'm hooked. So for me, that's what it is. It's recording is fun, making new music. Foxy and I have been writing all day. That's all great, but for me, it comes down to being on that stage and playing the music that you love and performing it for people who you can influence with your music and really get them motivated or get them excited. We've had people come up and say we've turned their day around by playing our music. People said, "Oh, I was having a terrible day until I saw you guys play, and now I'm so super happy." And so it's things like that are like that keeps you coming back. And for me, if somebody's on stage doing that, I'm sold.
I think for me, I want to be uncomfortable. I want the the performance to make me uncomfortable and like want to know what's going on in the performer's head. Like there's this band in town called Sick Velvet, and they're this glam band, and they wear these awesome outfits, and they're very sexual, and they're trying to channel like that 70s glam Mark Bolan T-Rex kind of feel, and it makes me so excited to see some people just like going for it and like wearing the outfits and doing the stuff, but it's not in like a gaudy or a cliche way. It's like legitimate and for real, and it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, like I want to get up there and act silly and do all that stuff and have people be as jazzed about it as I am to their music. So that's what I kind of look for.
Exactly.
That's a very interesting answer. Make you feel uncomfortable.
Right, yeah.
I think we have all been to a show every now and then when you see that performer or performers, and whether it's the way that they look or the way that they sound, it makes you be like, yeah, interesting.
Right, I want to be scared.
She wants to feel like she's in a horror movie for all I know.
Right. Like we had the great opportunity to see Ghost BC when they were in town at Mercury Ballroom, and that was amazing. I want that level of performance in Hot Prowlers. Like they wear all these incredible costumes, and they live the music, and they live their aesthetic, and it just makes, as a fan, it just makes you so stoked to see it, and I want our fans and people that see us to feel like that too.
That is absolutely cool, and shouts out to you, to Hot Prowlers for you and for what y'all bring to the table, and keep at it. I mean,
Thank you so much.
You got a good thing going, and you brought up just moments ago about a fan saying that he or she had a bad day until they heard you perform. You know, one thing I learn more about music when I go to local music shows, especially, is that music is powerful. It's a lot more powerful than what people think, and you know, just it's pretty much a soundtrack to life, depending on like what type of music you want to listen to. Like me personally, you know, I started off as a hip hop fan, and then as I go on my life, I listen to all types of music, and I got a chance to see a lot more artists in Lexington, and you know, I get to go to more rock shows, and I'll be probably one of the only black people there, banging my head, doing the rock sign, things like that, you know. And
well, that's the beauty of music, is that if it touches you, it touches you, and I think a lot of people get wrapped up in like, oh, I only like this kind of music or that kind of music. I mean, it's really funny in the Hot Prowlers van at any given time when we're on the road or traveling to a show or whatever, you may hear anything from Usher or R. Kelly to the latest trap music to Slayer to Queens of the Stone Age to Blondie and all of that 80s stuff. I mean, we really try to draw influences. I know everybody says that, but we really try to draw influences from all of those things, because those are people who are making music that they believe in. And again, back to what we were talking about, it's very much that's the power of music. Is if you believe in what you're doing and you're doing it well, then people are going to buy into that, and people are going to see that you mean it. And so we definitely feel you on that. I mean, music is a very powerful vehicle for different types of things, and there's, no matter how you're feeling or what you're going through, there's definitely always a song that can, at least one song that can speak to you through those times. So it's an honor and a privilege that we get to make music, and we try to do it as much as we possibly can.
So, as it pertains to the Neon EP, what do you consider some of your favorite song, or songs for that matter, that you like to perform?
I like our single for sure, Phantom Familiar. We made a really fun video. It's on YouTube on, I think, the Blank TV channel. They debuted it maybe last week or something like that. That's one of my favorites to play and to sing.
For me, it really changes from show to show. We've got, and a lot of times the way that we play songs back to back. Right now, we've been playing some of our new stuff that's not even on the Neon record, but those are always fun to play because they're new. But I think off the Neon record, I think the song Memphis, just to me, is very, it's so catchy. We almost always end with that song. And it's just so much fun to play for me.
Be on the lookout for Hot Prowlers in the Louisville area coming to, at the moment, a venue near you in Louisville. And they about to get a new van, obviously. So if you see a van,
check it out. Check it out on our Instagram. It's up there. You can see it. It's not pretty, but it works. So it's going to get us to Lexington soon. So and hopefully even farther reaches. We're going to put some trust and faith in it and hope it goes. So
I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that van for sure. In the foreseeable future. It was great chatting with you both, and continued success. Tell the rest of the band members I say hello. And
we will. Thank you.
Again, congrats on the release of Neon.